Welcome to Just Luke. This is episode 2 of me talking about what is on my mind. I'm joined with my brother Danny, and we're gonna start it off. So, Danny, say hi to the people.
Hello, everyone. I'm Danny Ivan. Here doing the technical stuff, setting up the mics, lights, recordings, putting up the podcast on YouTube and stuff. Just here working this podcast with my brother. Now we're on our second episode.
Awesome. So basically, we go over just topics of what's going on the past week, or what's going on today, or what we want to talk about. We just actually had like a little breaking news. Nothing really super crazy, but Danny, did you like that movie Shang-Chi? Is it Shang-Chi?
I don't know how it's pronounced.
Yeah.
I feel a little racist not knowing it, but for a Marvel movie, I don't think it met the high standards of a Marvel movie. I mean, this is a movie in Phase 4, and Phase 4 is not that great compared to the other phases. It was okay, but it definitely wasn't great in my personal opinion.
The reason I ask is because it's saying that Shanghai, let's just say the Marvel movie that we're talking about, is actually not going to bring back its biggest star. Who would you think is the biggest star from that movie?
I don't know.
You would think the main character, right?
The main character, right?
The Bruce Lee guy, but I thought that too until I opened it. It's actually, Michelle. She just won an award. She was, just did that movie Everywhere All at Once, I think it's called. It's on Showtime now. I haven't seen it yet. I heard it's really good. I need to find time to watch it, but she's not going to be coming back. It says that Marvel doesn't see that they're going to be able to pay her enough to bring her back, but yet they can pay Robert Downey $50 million. So, I mean, how much is she asking?
So, did you watch the movie?
Yes. Real quick, I liked it. I thought it was different. The comic relief was good. I think his character was cool. The storyline was, I feel like I saw that movie before, but for a Marvel movie, for me going in, getting entertained, I was entertained, something different. A lot of major stars weren't in there, but I kind of like that. I'm kind of tired of every Avenger in there saving the world. I needed to see something different. I think that did it for me as far as that movie. And I'm looking forward to the second one. But I'll be honest, Michelle was awesome in that movie. I thought she was really cool.
Is she the aunt?
She's the aunt.
Okay, it's all coming to me.
It's all coming to you. Yeah, she was great in it. And for her not to be in the second one, I kind of feel like down. Like, really, you can't afford her? But you can afford everyone else?
Are you sure it's nothing to do with affording her or just her schedule?
It just says pay right now. I'm sure, this is breaking news. I don't have time to read the whole thing. But, she only made $4.5 million. Even if you gave her double that, $9 million, I'm guarantee you she probably would take it. She seems like a super cool chick. She was actually in the reboot for Star Trek. No, not a reboot. Paramount Network has a Star Trek show. Is it prequel? I can't remember. I vividly saw like an episode or two of it, and I thought it was pretty cool. And she was like the main captain. And I guess she dies or something. I don't know. Spoiler alert. Sorry. But, she was in it. She's done a lot of other, like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, stuff like that. She's a very talented actress. But to not bring her back, I hate when they do that. When they don't bring back someone that was in the first movie back to the second. She's the aunt. She played a pivotal role of showing them, the dude who he was or who he is, right?
Oh, you know what? I'm looking at the IMDb of her right now. She was in the last thing she did was The Witcher Blood Origin, and that tanked.
Oh, it tanked bad, yes. I heard it tanked bad. I think I tried to watch it, and I was like, this is not good.
What was the problem with it? Was it acting? Was it story? Special effects?
I think it was, for me, I only saw the first episode, and the first episode didn't really have her too much in it. It had the other actors. I just don't know the other actors, right? And it's not like, for me, it wasn't up to par. If you don't get my attention that first episode, why would I watch the rest of it? Unless it's a show that someone says, oh, like Breaking Bad. First couple episodes of Breaking Bad, I was like, this show is slow. But everyone's like, no, it gets better. And then you realize Breaking Bad got better because it got more money, it got more popular, and season 2 was way better than season 1. But this Blood Witcher, I saw the first episode and I was like, this is not getting my attention whatsoever. Whatsoever. So I just stopped watching it, and I have I have no interest in watching another episode of that.
So, Shang-Chi, that movie, Marvel, right? It's having a sequel. Am I hearing that correct?
Yeah, it's a go. It's a go. They already said it's moving forward.
They have a release date. Is it just next year? 2025?
I'm sure it's 24, 25. It's nothing. There's a Marvel movie coming out soon that's not getting, I believe, for a Marvel movie, not getting enough hype. I think it's Guardians of the Galaxy. I think that comes out in May.
Ooh.
Like, that's too soon, right? Like, there's not been enough trailers. There's not been enough hype. Like, do they want it to fail?
Well, I gotta admit, I'm a little fatigued on Marvel right now. It's just there's so much to catch up, and I feel a little behind.
Especially with the shows on Disney Plus.
Yeah, there's shows you have to catch up, so that's a lot of commitment. You have to watch a long series of shows, not just a movie anymore. You
Yeah,
have to
but
watch a series of shows now.
There's people that have that commitment, man. There's people that watch every show. I mean, it's once a week, and they're like biting at they just can't wait till the next episode. I work with people that, same thing with Star Wars, right? Star Wars, some people say it has too many shows. I don't think it has enough shows, or enough movies. And that whole universe is almost the same as Marvel. Marvel can go into different storylines. I mean, I'm excited for the new Daredevil reboot. I don't know about you, but I thought that acting was awesome. Plus, it's bringing my favorite character, the Punisher. And the actor that played the Punisher, fantastic. I thought he was ridiculous. At first, I was like, is he going to be any good? He killed it. He knocked it out of its park. It was violent. It was vicious. It was great. It's everything Punisher is supposed to be, better than the Punisher movie. So for me, that Punisher show on Disney Plus was awesome. And you're right. Maybe there's too much commitment because there's too many different stories in Marvel. You go from Scarlet Witch to, the Punisher to this, to that, to Ant-Man. There's just a lot of different storylines, but it makes money. People watch it. There's a lot of people at work that I work at, especially when I used to work at the call centers, like when I was at, Loan Depot, or I was at Wells Fargo. Everyone was like, oh, the show's coming out, blah, blah. I still have friends that hit me up. Hey, did you watch the show? I'm like, I don't have time, but I heard it's good. But there's a lot of people that have that commitment, and, good for them. Why not? You only live once. Watch what you want.
So we're talking about John Bernthal, right? The actor?
Yes. Awesome actor.
He's fantastic. Yeah, I bought into him as the Punisher. He was that good.
No, he's great. He's great. Do you know what? Now that you bring him up, you need to watch the interview he had with Shia LaBeouf or whatever.
Shia LaBeouf?
Yeah, Shia LaBeouf.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry for butchering your name, man. I know.
Big time. Big fan of yours. Transformers was awesome. When you left, it went downhill, plain and simple. But Shia, pardon me, is a tremendous, tremendous actor. He's done a lot of other movies, like those war movies with Brad Pitt. He was awesome in that. Fury's fantastic. Yeah. His acting was fantastic. That's another movie that's with how
John
they met.
Bernthal in it too. Yep.
So that interview John has with him on his podcast, he was mad at him for, all the stuff he was doing. But when you find out how messed up he really was, and Hollywood fame, everything got to his head, and he just was out of control, and there wasn't anyone there to help him, right? So Shia didn't have an inner circle. They're like, hey man, let me take you under my wing. What you're doing is wrong. He didn't have that. Watch that interview, dude. It's like, I have so much respect for him after watching that interview. At first, I was the same way, just like everyone else. Who cares? Famous actor, he has money, blah, blah. But when you watch him, dude, he's a very sincere guy, and I think he's a great, great actor, and I'm a big fan of his, so I hope he gets more roles. I think Hollywood needs him. We need to see him in more movies.
Well, he's a child star, right? So
Yes, he did Holes, right?
I don't know.
My kids are reading that at school right now, so I think he's. I just signed a permission slip for my daughter to watch Holes.
What is Holes?
I think it's a Disney movie. I can't remember. Like, these kids they get punished in juvenile hall, and they make them, wherever they're at, they make them dig holes. They're like looking for something.
Okay, So Shia LaBeouf, right? I'm looking at his IMDb right now, and he's been around for quite a bit.
Oh, he did. Go down his latest movies. There's one movie that he did that was really good. I'm trying to think in the back of my mind. It's like I don't know. Like it's kind of like a spy movie. It's right around the same time he did Transformers.
So the last movie or TV show, Padre Pio, then Rainsford, Love Me Like You Hate Me, Fast Times at Ridgemont High Table Read, Pieces of a Woman, The Tax Collector. That's the one where you played as a cholo.
Oh, that was a great movie. And I heard he got the tattoos were real.
What? Tattoos are real?
He went and got a ton of tattoos for that. Those movies that he has in that Tax Collector, they're real. Those are his. But yeah, that's one he did. But yeah, Fury's another great movie he did. I'm looking at it right now.
So I want to stick on Tax Collector.
Lawless.
Wait, real quick, Tax Collector. That was the movie where he played a cholo,
Yes.
and he got what was it, cultural appropriated or whatever you call it.
Yeah, people got mad in Hollywood.
He's an actor. Okay, he acts. So just because you are of one race doesn't mean you have to exclusively
Correct.
only act in that race. If you're good, you're good. That's my personal opinion. Us as Latinos, like I thought he was fine.
Oh, I thought he's great. He's great. He did great. I mean, it's believable. Mm-hmm. The thing is, like, oh, he's playing a Latino or Mexican and he looks too white. No, there's a lot of white-looking Mexicans.
Oh yeah.
Look at Canelo. You see Canelo, you think, oh, that's an Irish boxer or whatever. No, dude, Canelo looks white.
Oh yeah, he's ginger.
Yeah, he's ginger.
It'd be like us getting mad at Al Pacino for playing Scarface for being a Cuban, for acting as a Cuban.
Yeah, he's not
when
Cuban?
He's Italian.
What? That just ruined it for me. Just kidding. I know he's Italian. Hey, Eagle Eye was the movie, 2008, that Shia did. He was awesome in that. That's definitely a movie you need to see. He also did Disturbia. I remember that. He did Constantine. He was the kid in Constantine with our boy Keanu. He was an iRobot. I remember that. He was a kid. Dude, Charlie's Angels. Yeah, he did all these movies when he was a kid. So yeah, he was a child actor. And he was in an episode of Freaks and Geeks with all those other famous actors.
Since 1998, right? So he's been in this game for what, 25 years?
You're hitting me with the math, but yes, 25 years. Yeah, so he's been acting since he was a kid, 25, messed up right now in the head because a lot of actors are like that. I mean, there's countless kid actors that are screwed up in the head. But yeah, that's a great movie that he did. Switching it off real quick, I had a request to talk about something this week, and I wanted to bring it up. And you know a lot about this person. I don't, but let's talk about Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate. Are you a fan of Andrew Tate's?
I'm not saying I'm a fan. I just barely know of him. I've heard some of his things on some podcasts, and I mean, just what he talks about is kind of a little macho-ish, just like the type of man you need to be to attract a woman. So he's really targeting people, or guys in particular, young men, who struggle at attracting women. And he's just telling you, this is how you need to be. You need to be tough. You need to hit the gym. You need to get off the video games. You need to work out, build confidence. Might have to be a little bit of a jerk because women don't like nice guys because nice guys get walked over on. They don't want to be
100%.
They don't want to be around a guy like that. They want to be with a guy who can stand up for himself. So I heard a lot of that from him, which some of it's like, okay, yeah, I mean, he's trying to really teach guys how to be men. There's also ones with his webcam business he had with his brother that's a little sketchy because it's just, is that kind of business really traps women into doing a type of work that they can't get out of? Well, they can't get out easily, and they feel a little manipulated, a little used. I'm not making that judgment. It's just things I've heard on the internet. I'm not drawing a conclusion. I'm still keeping an open mind on that. But who knows? He's just out there on the internet that you see his name a lot, and he recently just got out of prison too.
Yeah, that's why he just got out of jail, and I saw a picture of him, and I didn't even recognize him because he had hair. I know a little bit of him. It's crazy. My kids in elementary school know who Andrew Tate is. That's insane. And they say something like, what color is your Bugatti? I'm like, how do you know what a Bugatti is? That is crazy. It's $1 million+ car. That's all I know. But, I get what he's saying. Like, you can't be playing video games. You can't be, doing this. You want to attract a woman. You want to be successful. Women like someone to have confidence. Women, want someone with muscles. Women want someone that, that can be a protector, that she can, walk down the street with, and, maybe catch other women's eyes and be like, wow, that's a good looking guy or whatever. It is true, even though a lot of people will say, no, we want, this and that, I get where he's coming from. He says a lot of truth. I just think it's a different world we live in. Like, if you talk like that, you sound, they say you sound stupid. Oh, that's not what they want, and this and that. And, we go back to like the whole woke culture and stuff. Again, what is woke, blah, we don't know, but it's almost like a different reality. At the end of the day, you ask 9 out of 10 girls, they're all going to pick out the same guy. They're not going to go for the engineer dorky looking guy. They're going to go for the gym rat.
Take a note, because Andrew Tate does talk a lot about the Matrix. I don't know if you hear enough about that, but let's take side note of that. We'll get back to that. But I saw him on a podcast, a long one, with a podcaster on YouTube named Just Pearly Things. She talks a lot about like dating and what women are attracted to, what men are attracted to, and just trying to really understand each other and the high standards people have for trying to attract someone or be with, or to find a partner for there forever. But Andrew Tate just talks about, from that podcast I listened to, that you have to be very stern. Everything I just mentioned earlier about how to attract a woman. Confidence is a big one, but correct me if I'm wrong. Tell me what you think of this thought, that the evil twin of confidence is arrogance. Because if some women I find attracted to an arrogant guy thinking he's confident. And of course, same arrogance and confidence, they're no pushovers. They execute and get things done. They make the decisions. They're not indecisive. But one is more genuine, while the other one is more manipulative.
Yeah, I chime in on that. I think arrogance, you're right, because they're different. Confidence, you don't worry about what other people think or what they do. Arrogant people do, though. Arrogant people, I'm the best, and you can't. No one else is as good as me. As if someone says, "Oh, so and so is better than you" or whatever, and they're gonna get mad because they're arrogant. Confident people are like, oh, "Okay, that's fine. If you think that person's better than me, I'll stick to my guns and do what I do." And I see that in every industry and everything we do. There's arrogant people and there's confident people. Confident people attract more people. Arrogant people don't, because arrogant people are just, let's just be honest, assholes.
Yes, but some women are attracted to those assholes, though.
And then,
or a lot of them, I should say, a lot of women are attracted to those assholes.
But if that arrogant guy cheats on you, don't say, "Oh, look, we told you so." Don't be surprised.
Oh, sure.
And it happens all the time. I can't believe he did that to me. Well, everyone else did, though.
Well, what do you think of this thought? An arrogant guy tries to prove he's tough all the time, kind of push over to people. A confident guy doesn't have to prove that he's tough.
Nor does he care to prove. Mm-hmm. He's not out there to it's not a popularity contest for a confident person. A confident person is going to do what they have to do to get it done, and maybe to provide for their families, and that's it. They have the confidence to do that. Arrogant people, they're going to do that and more, and backstab you and talk crap about you behind your back. I mean, confident people don't do that. So no, I agree with you 100%. They're complete yin yang opposites.
But the whole Andrew Tate thing, it's bizarre.
Do you think he's confident or arrogant?
Good question.
I think, real quick, he comes off arrogant. If you listen to him and you see his battles he has with people, I think confidence comes out.
I think when he's making those points about for guys to attract women, he comes off arrogant. But like when you're not on the topic of being tough, go to the gym and all that, he's a very nice guy. He's very confident that he's very confident and genuine. He's trying to help people, build them up.
No, I see that. He's trying to help, the average Joe, better themselves. But, he does that one way. Someone like Gary Vee does it a different way, right? Gary Vee's the total dad bod person that, says, hey, it's never too late to follow your dreams or change jobs or do this, do that. I'm a big fan of that philosophy. It never is too late. Right? It never is. So go back to the whole, you said side note about Andrew Tate in the Matrix. What were you getting at with that?
So from what I understand, it's the deep state, the elites controlling everything. There's a lot of things that we still don't know that's being done behind closed doors, that's controlling and manipulating our realities. So that's what he talks about, and he calls it the Matrix. That's what he means by that. And the whole reason why he's going through this situation now, going to jail on us, because the Matrix is after him. They threw in the whole Matrix idea with like red pill and blue pill. The red pill is it's just you want to get out of the reality that's created in front of you and understand what the real reality is. Well, the blue pill you take in, you're just happy with your little life and just let all the chaos and strings being pulled behind you as long as you're happy.
Yeah, I will have to do my research on him when you're talking about Matrix, because I love going down that rabbit hole of Matrix and like anything that has to do with that multiverse, other dimensions. I love that stuff. Quantum physics, stuff like that's really cool. Like it's so beyond my pay grade, but it's so cool. And it's like stuff beyond our understanding, and we're not supposed to know everything. That's what's cool about it. It's like no one can tell you, oh, it's not real. How do you know it's not real? You just don't.
Well, I like to quote Neil deGrasse Tyson when he says, "The universe is under no obligation to make sense to you."
100%. And that's another great person right there is Neil. When he says stuff like that in his shows, I used to watch him. The universe is crazy. We'll never understand it, and I don't know if we're ever gonna, in my lifetime, see aliens, real aliens, not these, made up whatever that we see in the sky. If there is aliens, I don't think we've seen them, because I think they'd be more stealth.
Do you think these aliens that we keep depicting are humanoid like us? 2 eyes, a nose with 2 nostrils.
Why wouldn't they be?
Fingers. There's infinite possibilities.
100%.
And why do we always narrow it down to something that we can make sense in our head?
Yeah, it could be everyday people that we see.
Like a spider.
Albinos. Sorry. But it could be like, or yeah, you're right. Maybe it could be like an insect or something. But what if it was humanoid? What if they're just like us?
Then you're in a whole different rabbit hole rather, of, okay, if they're humanoid, then we have similarities, and where's the origins between that? How did we split off the same way we split off from other primates?
Yeah, could be. Well, that's a different rabbit hole. I mean, we're going to go down the whole Atlantis, and 6,000 years ago, they were able to escape, and then they're coming back because, the cycle of life changed and stuff. But that's a different rabbit hole. We could do that segment later. Something that did happen this week that I do want to talk about as well, and it's really a bad, sad story, is the 6 dead in Nashville. To be more precise, Woodmont Baptist Church. I know you've heard of it because it's all over the news, where 3 9-year-old kids died and 3 adults. That is one of the saddest things. And people are calling for, gun control, this and that. We should always have gun control. We should have strict gun control. People that shouldn't have guns should not be having guns, And the person that, I'm probably going to have you look it up. I think it was a dude that wants to be a chick, or a chick that wants to be a dude.
I believe it was a female transitioning to male.
Okay, female transitioning to male, transgender. And then the whole thing with the White House saying the transgenders are being under attack. No, these Christian kids were under attack. 3 9-year-olds are dead. 3 adults are dead. It doesn't matter if they're transgender or not. It's someone with mental illness went into a school and shot it up. What do you think about that?
Well, school shootings are not going to stop as long as our society and government continues with their inaction. The real question is, what is the correct approach? We have a Second Amendment for a reason, but we talk about it's mental health. Okay, then let's actually move forward on fixing mental health to prevent these mass shootings. Because the more we talk about mass shootings, and you have one side saying, let's get rid of guns, while the other one says, we need to focus on mental health. Well, pick one and let's go all in. Of course, we have an amendment that no law shall infringe upon. So if it's mental health, then really put in resources for mental health, so we don't have these mass shootings anymore. We really need these mass shootings to end. It's ridiculous. Kids die. You know how devastating that is?
Well, for a parent, yeah.
Ask any parent how they would feel if one day their 9-year-old was shot up at school, a place where they should be safe.
Oh, 100%. And it is mental illness. It's not, and if it's not guns, it'll be knives, it'll be a car. It could be a million things to kill people, right? Mm-hmm. I don't think your gun should be taken away, but it should have like almost like a credit score kind of thing. Like if, you got to do a background check, you got to be able to qualify as a good, not good human being, but a good, you have good character, like you're not going to go out and kill someone. Now, how did she get all these guns? That's something that they need to look at and really put strategic laws out there for that. Like you said, school shootings are horrible, but there's things that we can do to create more jobs. Those school districts need to, bring in 1 or 2 officers or, hire like these veterans that are out of work that have that training, or hire ex-police officers that are retired that can, would stand to earn a couple bucks instead of being Walmart greeters. Have them in there, and put on the signs out there that the school is guarded by, police or security or armed security. I would feel better if my kids went to a school and it had said that. Not this gun-free zone crap, because the gun-free zone is an advertisement like, come on over, you can shoot as much as you want until the police get here an hour later. I mean, that's BS, I think this gun-free schools, like, what are you advertising? You're just saying that there's no one there that can stop you if you decide to come up here with a gun.
So these laws to try to prevent guns, it's only applied to citizens, law-abiding citizens. So why are we punishing the law-abiding citizens with these new laws for gun control? Do criminals care about these laws? No. They break the law. They're criminals. That's why. And then you have the only other people who have access to guns will be an authority such as the government. So that's why I believe that the Second Amendment is a check and balance between civilized citizens and the government. And then when you have these shoot-ups, okay, again, how do we prevent them? Is it really mental health? I can't conclude that. That's not my expertise, but I'm leaning towards it. And what is the right resources we need so someone like this doesn't come up with an idea thinking, I should shoot up a school and follow through with it? How do you prevent that? Is there a way that if someone has thoughts of, I want to shoot up a school, can they call up a counselor and not immediately get arrested? That might be a fear. Like, if I call, they might throw me in a cage. So what do? I'm really struggling with my mental health.
But maybe not in a cage, but maybe in a facility to help you out. Mm-hmm. Right? More or less like a, we're going to put you in this place for 72 hours or a week or 2 weeks. And, we're going to feed you, your 3 meals. You're going to be around other people kind of like you, feel, sad, low, depressed. And, we'll go through counseling. We'll, set you up on, not just for those 2 weeks, but set you up with like counseling for when you're done, just like drunk drivers have, and alcoholics have those meetings, have once a week where you go and talk to people who are just like you, who are just feeling down, that with no, without cops or anyone, arresting you or making, doing something that's going to, put you at risk of, not being able to get a job or anything like that. So I think there should be more of that going on, because we need to be helping as many people as we can, so we don't have people dying, people, and I think it comes down to like what's going on in today's society, poverty too, when people don't have money, don't have, resources, they go to the extreme, so she might have thought, my life's over, I'm going to take as many people as I can, and that's that. But can you imagine being that shooter's parents? Mm-hmm. Game over. Like, you got to move. Like, everything you have in that town or whatever, you're done. I can't imagine, like, if I had a son or daughter that shot up and killed people in the community. It's the same school that she went to, so she probably lives close. Mm-hmm. The parents probably know the parents of 1 or 2 of those kids. Like, you wouldn't be able to look them in the eye, you'd have to leave, you'd have to move, you'd have to start all over. You go from Tennessee, you probably have to go to Oregon or something, you know, across the country, or even leave the country at that point. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, for the parents, I mean, probably embarrassment is an understatement. Humiliated is an understatement. Like, this is my child.
Guilty by association.
Mm-hmm. And that'd be a terrible feeling to have if you're a parent and you hear that it was your son or your daughter.
Oh, the questions come up. What? Oh, they couldn't love their child enough. They didn't do enough for their child. That's not it. You know?
As much as I agree with you that we need these type of facilities to support people who are struggling with mental health, it costs money. And additionally, we would have something similar for the homeless right now. And we don't. We don't put in the resources for that.
Because there's no benefit.
No one makes money off it.
No one's going to make money off of it. There's no benefit for the government to do that because they're not going to get anything, the return for their dollar.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just be honest. That's the truth. They're not going to do anything for the homeless because, oh, cool, you're going to be a good citizen and contribute, but it doesn't do anything for us.
So what's going to be the breaking point? Because from what I gather from this, it's the same story. They're going to try to push something. It's going to get blocked. It doesn't get passed through. And we're just waiting around for the next school shooting.
That's how it feels like. 100%. We're just going to wait for the next school shooting, and it could be next week. It could be tomorrow. I mean, it's just crazy.
I mean, I don't believe that it's assault weapons ban, because that makes me scared that if we fall under a tyrannical government, well, they just took away my assault rifle. So what? I just have a handgun versus their assault rifles?
100%. 100%.
Mm-hmm. So maybe we do need better education. Maybe we do need better mental health care services. I think we have to understand what mental health is, just because since we let out the genie out of the bottle of what mental health is, anyone can claim that they have mental health issues, and they keep repeating that to themselves, they're going to believe it.
No, I agree. And I think to your point about guns, I mean, look at Canada. I think I saw something where the Prime Minister of Canada said, you can no longer buy a handgun in Canada. That's crazy. So you're right. Going into a tyrannical government, we have nothing to protect ourselves. Or, if you can't get an uprising, you can't get a rebellion, you can't do this, that, because the handguns aren't going to do anything compared to the ARs.
You can't have a peaceful protest without having the appropriate permission. A peaceful protest is just that you don't need permission. If people want to gather and have a peaceful protest, they don't need permission from the government. Those laws are infringing that amendment. And it's just crazy that we just allow it. And then, you try to protest. If you do it without quote-unquote permission, here comes in the stormtroopers to arrest you and throw you in a cage and tell you how nutty you are.
Yep, and then it's on your record, and they're going to be surveilling you for now to kingdom come, and it just sucks. And it looks like we're getting there. I don't know. I think I don't know what to think. I don't believe that we're going to go down that route, but I'm more optimistic than a lot of my friends. I think we're going into these what they call 15-minute cities, which I try to research, and I don't think that's total sci-fi stuff that I read about it. And the CBDCs that they're trying to create, where like you get your paycheck and you have to spend it in X amount of time. So if you get, let's just say for round numbers, $2,000 a month, you have to spend that $2,000 in 90 days.
Is that your universal basic income?
No. That's what they're trying to get rid of the dollar and go electric or, yep.
Digital. Like a digital currency. So, wait, let me see if I understand this. So your paycheck.
Basically, they don't want you to save any money.
There's no savings whatsoever. What's the understanding behind that?
I don't know.
How can you save for like a house? How can you save for a car?
I don't know how.
Do you just have to figure out how to do enough means in 2 weeks to?
It goes to that thing of you will own nothing and like it. Is what I heard is the saying. A lot of people are scared that 2030 this is gonna happen, blah blah blah. But you know what? I mean, I've heard so many craziness. Like I was around Y2K and Like I remember Y2K. I had a buddy, and I don't want to say names, Jr. And he had a girlfriend at the time. I forgot her name, Eileen, and she basically did not want to go out on 1999 to turn 2000. It was me, my girlfriend, my buddy Matt, his girlfriend, which is now his wife. But JR's like, hey, we can hang out and stay at my dad's house. And I was like, your dad's house, dude? It's 2000. It's gonna be year 2000. We need to go out and celebrate. No, so and so scared of Y2K. I'm like, that's not even a thing. I remember it's like whole like turning to zero is gonna screw up all the computers, this and that. But it ended up nothing ended up happening. I remember Matt was like at like 10 o'clock was like, you know what, screw this, I'm out of here. Him and his girl went and partied, and I was like looking at my girl, and I didn't want to leave because then GR would be by himself. Let's just say his name's GR. I don't know, but we stayed, and he's one of my buddies, but one of my best friends, like a brother to me. So I didn't want to be that guy, so I stayed with him. I hope he realizes they ruined my decade, century, all that good stuff. But yeah,
it doesn't end though.
No,
Y2K wasn't the only one. There's remember 2012.
Yeah, it's all fear mongering.
It's just this weird. We have this hard set date. This is the end of the world, or something's happening. We don't know.
Nostradamus said this.
You need to just put in all your money and invest into the shelter that's overpriced.
No, even with COVID, when COVID happened, people were buying those survival packs at Costco. I remember our neighbor got one, 2 of them, I think, and she's like, "You better hurry up and get them." And we went. My wife's like, "Oh, she bought into the whole fear thing," and I'm like, "If we die, we die. It is what it is." And so we looked into buying one of these, and they was pretty expensive. I was like, that's a lot of money, but okay, whatever. It's like 1,000 meals or whatever in case something happens. Mm-hmm. And they were sold out at Costco. I was like, oh, I guess that's a sign we're gonna die. And nothing ended up happening. It was all fear mongering, and COVID was one of the craziest things. And if real quick on the COVID front, I remember in 2020. Spring break, I took the kids to St. George, Utah to visit Sam's brother. And I saw something on the news saying, oh, this is breaking out, this and that. And I didn't think anything of it. And so I was like, I'm going to go to the grocery store, get something real quick so we can, make steaks or whatever. And they had a Smith's, which is our Fry's because it's Kroger. When I got there, no toilet paper, canned food was gone. And think about this. This is a Mormon city, right? It's in Utah. So, God bless the Mormons. They've saved, if you ever see a Mormon pantry, they have tons of stuff, food ready for a rainy day or whatever. But this was crazy. Everything that was like, canned food, stuff like that was gone. Mm-hmm. Right there kind of hit me like, okay, this might be real. This might be some scary stuff. And then I started buying into the fear to some degree. That, because not fear of running out of stuff, but fear of humanity. Because when an event were to come, humans are terrible people, mm-hmm. Like neighbors turn against each other, family members lock their doors. I mean, it's very like Armageddon, cliquish, whatever you want to call it. That's what I fear, not the fear of something bad happening, the fear that it gets too crazy. COVID was like right there where you saw the ugliness in people. You saw people's true colors, right? Mm-hmm. And for me, it's like, wow, just F it, man. If it happens, it happens. I'm done fear mongering. I tell my wife, same thing, like, hey, don't worry about it. Control what you can, and just everything else is going to work itself out. What do you think?
Well, the whole fear about the apocalypse. Neighbors will turn against each other because if you run out of resources and your neighbor's full of them, you either figure out how to make trade with them, or you take it. If you can outgun them, you take it.
And that's what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. People are, and society will collapse one day. Hopefully, when I'm not around, but it just does.
We have these prophecies of like, again, Y2K or 2012, where it's like, okay, here's the hard set date. It's not worth believing those. If the apocalypse were to truly happen, it will come unannounced. The apocalypse happens actually every day around the world that we don't understand, but it's not happening in the United States. Right now, it's happening in Yemen. It's also happening in Syria. There's other parts of the world where the apocalypse is happening, and we think the apocalypse is what? It's just hell raining down? No, it's just when society completely collapses and people are just trying to survive and doing anything to survive, even if it means killing your neighbor.
And it happens, like you said, third world countries. And when you go back to apocalypse, it's when they get bombed and stuff. That's their apocalypse. I mean, that's just the reality, and which sucks. But it's something that we never had here in the U.S. and hopefully we never will experience something like that, unless there's which can happen, a nuclear war. That's something that would be something we couldn't control, and that would be end of the world. And I don't know why we even have. The only reason we have it is because our enemies have it, and why do we call them our enemies? Like there has to be something that brings the world together. Maybe Independence Day style, like invasion or something, like, something that we could all band together and be just the human race, but it'll never be that way. It's just everything. We're always divided by the simplest things. Look at sports. That's another thing that people are like divided. How many times do you see, like when football starts, how many drunk fans get in fights?
All the time.
They're probably neighbors, or live in the same city, and one's wearing an Eagles jersey, one's wearing a Chiefs jersey.
And all they have to say is like, "Oh, your team sucks." It's like, "Hey, man, F you, F me. I'll come say it to my face. I will. What are you gonna do?" And they start throwing haymakers at each other. And it's just like, why?
Now you're going to jail.
That? Like, what were you trying to? What satisfaction are you trying to gain out of that?
No,
like,
really, they look stupid. I like watching it on YouTube just because they look stupid. But yeah, you're right. I mean, we're just, as society, as humans, we're just so divided, and I really don't see a solution. The only thing that brings us together, I guess, either church or sports or something you like, But even going to some parties that you go to, like work parties or someone's birthday party, there's always people talking either politics, religion, or something, and it might be against your view, or you might have a different view. You might have a neutral view, and if you have a neutral view, it's a bad view, and it's like you're never gonna win with some people.
In our society today, I mean, what you mentioned at parties, don't talk about religion or politics, and I agree with it. But for some reason, our society has gotten way too comfortable talking about politics, and then now. And everyone knows it's going to start an argument. And some people are very dead hard on their beliefs. And people are only in this argument thinking that they can turn someone's hard opinions on things. It's like, no, people are set in their ways. And I don't know why people feel comfortable bringing up their political views, as if they're going to try to convince people to lean on their side. And if they don't, they get mad at them for not turning on their side. It's like, just leave people alone and talk about something else. Don't bring up politics. It's so exhausting when I go to any gathering and someone wants to talk about politics.
Yeah, I like to bring up politics, piss everyone off. Especially my sisters. They just like so hardcore sometimes, and they try to correct me, and I'm like, they have valid points, but they're like watching CNN too much, or they're watching too much of what shows up on their Pinterest or whatever, because that's what their following is. I get it. Just like I have some friends who are hardcore right wingers, and they say their points of view. Oh, okay, it sounds interesting, but they're both, at the end of the day, like it's just like religion too. You think yours is the right one, and a lot of times when you're hardcore, you won't listen to the other side, or you don't want to accept that. Oh, they might be right, And there's things I like about Trump, and I'll be honest. When we had Trump, I felt like society, America was just booming. I 100%. The stuff that's going on today would not happen on Trump's watch. 100%. I don't care what anyone says. Because with Trump, yeah, they hated Trump, but they feared Trump. They were scared of Trump. They weren't doing any, he's Putin's friend, blah, blah. I'd rather have him be friends with Putin so he has him under control than right now, BRICS and everyone, Russia, China, all these countries, scheming to take down the dollar and take us out. And that's a real thing that people aren't even thinking about or talking about, or the media is talking about, because that's, when we talk about fear mongering, that's not just fear mongering, that's a reality.
Tell us more about BRICS. What is BRICS?
BRICS is basically anti-NATO. So if we were the Justice League, they're What's the Justice League's bad guys? The villains. God, I haven't,
But are they villains though?
no, they're not villains.
They're not the
I don't think Russia's a villain. I don't think this is my point of view. These just different people. I've always said America is like the Lannisters. If you ever watch Game of Thrones, we're the richest. We think we have the high ground, but we don't because we push our ideas on other people. Like Kamala Harris just went to Africa real quick, not to get off subject. Those 3 countries that she visited, that she's talking to, all have hardcore anti-gay, anti-trans, anti-whatever laws. And she said that, we talk about that she was going to talk to them about it. What the hell are you going to tell these African nations that, you're wrong, that being gay is wrong? We think it's wrong, and it's fine. I'm not someone that's to say gay is wrong. You do what you want. But for us to go to different countries, visit them, by the way, your laws are wrong. No one wants to hear that. No one wants to, if someone came to the U.S. and say, what you guys are doing is wrong, we'd be like, F you, man. We're not changing.
This is my preference. This is what I believe in.
But so like those countries have like, again, real hardcore gay, lesbian, LGBT laws over there. And for us to go over there and try to change it, saying it's human rights, whatever, they don't look at it that way. They've been operating for a lot longer than the U.S. Different nations, different, societies of these laws. They're not going to change it anytime soon. If you want to change it, just move to America, move to Europe, move to a country that allows that. Why would you stay and try to change it? Why for us to go in there, going back to BRICS, BRICS is trying to get Africa, under them, right? So NATO is all the Western countries and Western influences. BRICS is basically the opposite. And BRICS has been around for a long time. It's just they're getting bigger, right? They want to get away from America, the whole dollar reserve and this and that, and that could happen. But we go to war for the dollar. What could we go to war for now? Like what are we? Here's the thing: Saudi Arabia and Iran, okay, 2 countries that hate each other, but they agree on joining BRICS because they agree on taking down the U.S. It's kind of scary. I read a thing that BRICS wants to get Mexico involved. I don't think that would happen. There's no way the U.S. would let that happen. Not that they could stop them, but if that were to happen, if Mexico ever joined BRICS, that's Russia and China would now be able to have bases on Tijuana, in Nogales, in all those border cities if they wanted to. How crazy would that be? There's no way that's going to happen on the U.S.'s watch. But then again, the U.S., we try to police the whole world. We try to tell people what to do, and a lot of countries are just sick and tired of it. Before they just took it because the dollar was so strong and we would cripple them. But we put so many sanctions on these countries, and now they hate us, and they're in a position where they can actually hurt us. And I think they're trying to do that. And that's just my belief is they're trying to do that. But at the end of the day, I don't think it'll work. I think the U.S. is too influential, too big, and I just think the U.S. has something under their sleeve, like a safety button, like those little red buttons. You know what I mean? Like
Panic button.
Like not a panic button, but like something like, oh, okay, you want to screw with us? And
BRICS. I mean, how would it end?
How would BRICS end, or how?
Well, with BRICS,
BRICS doesn't end.
BRICS never ends.
No, BRICS is just always going to be a competitor to NATO, and it's going to see how strong the U.S. is and the European nations are. But it also is like, it's the elephant in the room. Germany and France, are they going to stay with the EU, or are they going to do their own thing? At the end of the day, it's really the U.S. and, or North America, which is just the U.S. and Canada, and the European nations versus the rest of the world. When I say rest of the world, I mean, the way we think, the way we want, and how we envision, our lives. Let me put it this way. What if these right-wing theories, conspiracy theories are right? What if,
Like, name one.
like, they're trying to take away our freedoms? They're trying to be tyrannical.
Okay.
What if BRICS is the solution?
What if BRICS identifies our vulnerabilities of our freedom of speech and use it against us with their TikToks and trying to influence people? Hey, everything the U.S. is doing and saying is wrong. You should ban your guns. You should suppress speech. You should not allow certain people to say things.
Oh, you're saying BRICS is using that to their
Could
advantage?
be they're trolls. Russian trolls are real.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. Maybe they're using they're using that propaganda of the school shootings and all that bad stuff that's going on here. See how that doesn't happen here? Yeah, it doesn't happen there because they're in prison. Like, have you read about like the 2 million Muslims in China in the camps?
What's happening recently? I think everyone knows about the Uyghurs, but are they still? Is that still going on?
No, it's always going to go on. Like, China doesn't care. China isn't scared of anyone. What are you going to do? Okay, then we're not going to make your products anymore. Okay, do what you want to do. You're good. You know, that's how it is. You know, like we talked about it last week, like self-interest of these corporations and stuff. Like, they're going to be social warriors here, but they're not going to, when it comes to like real issues like that, they're not going to care. You know, when it comes to like child slavery, what's going on in China, making your Nikes or your Gucci, and then in Africa digging up stuff for your Tesla battery, they really, mum's the word. So I don't buy any of this BS that we care. We don't. If it's not making money, they don't care. The only way we really go to war is we'll make something up of Saddam Hussein has nuclear weapons so we can take away their resources, or we can take someone out of dictatorship. Look, and Trump was right when he said they're worse off now than they were when he was in power. At least when he was in power, he never dared to do anything against the U.S. anyways. You know, he knew that if he screws with us, he's done. And so it only took us to make up, 9/11 was Saddam. And Saddam's like, oh, hell no, it wasn't me. He was pointing at who it was. No, those guys were over here. But we went over there and took them down. And now it's just it sucks.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but with Iraq, they're trying to get off the U.S. dollar when they're trying to sell their oil.
Well, that's exactly, there you go. There you go. We go to war for the dollar. They're trying to come off.
Stay the top currency. Stop the top world currency.
It has to. Yeah, and we'll go to war, and we'll find another war. Just like that. You're right. That's exactly what happened. And to my point, the dollar has to stay on top.
Well, then, not to be the whole pro-war with the Ukraine stuff, but Ukraine has to succeed to show Russia, who's part of BRICS, that do anything that threatens U.S. interests, especially when it comes to the U.S. dollar, that you will feel the full brunt of the United States and its allies.
Which is NATO. Yeah. Well, that's exactly why we're going through this war that we shouldn't be going through. I mean, at the end of the day, U.S. doesn't want to jump in, doesn't want to look bad, whatever. I keep hearing that. We look bad anyways because we're NATO and we're already sending them money. So why not send them jets? Why not just send a ship down there or whatever and just say, screw it. We're only wasting time, wasting money. Just if war is gonna happen, might as well just do it, right? Why are we stalling? Why are we like laundering money? Sending money there, is they sending it back? What are they using the money for? Are they building their society, or are they popping up McDonald's and Taco Bell's up there? Like, what's going on? There's nothing to hold them accountable. Like, okay, here's all this money. Show us receipts of what you're doing. How are you defending your country? Are you paying for the meals for the soldiers on the front lines? Are you paying for bullets? Like, what is it that you're doing? So, I don't know. When it comes to BRICS, to your question, it's not going to end. It's they're always going to be the anti-NATO, and you always have to have a good guy, bad guy situation.
I mean, the United States wants to be the good guy, but how do we come off as the good guy? We're spending so much money in Ukraine. No, not everyone buys the whole movement of we need to support Ukraine so that they can take off the big bad guy, Russia. Like, why is this a war that we need to really be involved in?
I think transparency. I don't think they're saying what is really happening and why we need to do that. I think they like the White House needs to say this is why we're defending Ukraine. This is why we have to make sure, because a lot of people don't know. And if you had transparency, maybe more people are like, oh, okay, I see your point. Yes, tax me more money. Yes, charge me more for eggs. But they're not. So is there, but like goes back to the hidden agenda. Is there a hidden agenda in this, you know? But we'll find out soon enough. I mean, this can't last forever. It's been over a year, you know, so I don't know. But do you want to talk about WrestleMania?
What do you want to talk about?
A lot. WrestleMania. Do you remember WrestleMania when you were a kid?
Well, yeah, I watched it. Oof, man, not since Stone Cold Steve Austin Degeneration X.
That's about the time I stopped watching. I think after Stone Cold got hurt and left, I believe that was the last time I saw him. I mean, for me, the height of wrestling was Stone Cold, was The Rock. The Rock was a bad guy. Then he was the good guy, and he got super popular. Now he's this big actor. You know, I didn't see the John Cena. Like, I wasn't in it when John Cena came in, but I did see Batista in the beginning, but I just lost interest in wrestling. It was just like I grew out of it. But when it was in its heyday, I remember going to watch wrestling at the Coliseum, watching Big John Studd, the Iron Sheik, Jimmy Superfly Snuka, Tito Santana, one of my favorites, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. I remember watching I already said Big John Studd. Watching Andre the Giant versus Hulk Hogan in WrestleMania was a highlight as a kid because you saw him body slam him. And I remember watching it with my friends, my friend Josh Silvius, his brothers, when we were little. I mean, we were like elementary school watching it going, wow, you know, thinking this is real. Yeah, that's cool. No, it wasn't real. I knew it wasn't real when I was older either, but it was something to watch, right? You got into it. I really think wrestling for me, like watching their bodies, you know, like Triple H and DX, kind of got me going to the gym, right? Like, I want to look like that. Like for me, Buff Bagwell was, you know, yoked. I wanted to look like that. So I wanted to go to the gym. Me and my buddies would lift all the time. And I think wrestling had a big part of that. Like you wanted to keep up that, you know, that look, or you wanted to be feared like those guys were. Not that they were feared. I mean, it's fake, but, you know, it was kind of cool. You know, I mean, it's entertainment. At the end of the day, it's entertainment. When people say, oh, it's fake. Yeah, well, it's always watching your TV show. So it's watching a movie.
It's theater, right? So it's live action daredevils doing their performances.
Absolutely, I like that.
They're flying in the air, landing hard on tables and stuff. Yeah, the punches or slaps, whatever, they're fake, obviously. But if you take it for just like this opera or theatrical performance, rather, it's entertaining. You know, it's the smack talking, the jokes. Flying through the airs, landing on top of each other. Those are not easy stunts, by the way. If you were to really do them, you could really hurt yourself.
And people do.
All the time.
Do you remember I think it was Owen Hart, or one of the Harts died. Remember that?
Yes, I do.
Was it? No, I don't think it was WrestleMania, but I think it was one of the events. He's coming down the wire, and the wire broke.
Right.
Fell to his death. Live in front of all these people. Like there's right there. I was like, okay, there is a element to this, like entertaining. Something can go wrong, and it went wrong. You know, he died. And there's a lot of wrestlers injured themselves. Like you said, it's live action, like stuntman kind of stuff. And if you don't turn enough on a flip or something, you land on your head, you're paralyzed. It happens. People rip pec muscles and this and that. There's injuries. There's real life injuries that these wrestlers have. They land wrong and they break their leg. It happens. I remember Heartbreak Kid in a fight landed wrong on his leg and broke his ankle, and he still finished the fight, but was hobbling, and they knew he was hobbled. And I think Vince McMahon, same thing. I think he hurt both his knees, and he finished his segment on his butt. And I was like, why is he on his butt? And then later on, it comes out that he landed on his knees wrong and snapped both his knees. And can you imagine that kind of pain? And you still finish the show or your little segment, and you have your guys pull you off. So yeah, it's fake to a point, but like when you get hit, it hurts. I remember watching a segment, like wrestlers were coming into town, and the guy's like, "Oh, you guys are fake." This and that. He goes, "Oh, let me see. Tell me if this is fake." And the wrestler like slapped him on his chest hard. Probably got assault charges because it made the news guy like almost cry on live TV. I'd be pissed if I said, "Oh yeah, you're fake," and someone hit me like that. You made me cry. I'm gonna be a baby and I'm gonna sue you because you're a wrestler. Yeah, it looked like it hurt, but yeah, it is fake. But those hits that they take, like Triple H said, those are real hits. You know, that's the price they pay for what they do, and they. Not everyone makes money. Only the top ones make money. Like being on the I think it's Raw, Monday Night Raw. If you're on that card, that's what every wrestler wants is to be on that card. Because that's where the money's at. A lot of these guys don't make any money. They're just they're the heels. They're the ones that get beat up. You see those wrestlers that always come out and they get beat up because you need those wrestlers that lose. Like once you lose all those times, like. How do you come up? You have to change personas like The Rock did. The Rock was something else before he became The Rock. And when he changed different names or different disguises, he starts winning. He starts getting, popular, and he just got really big.
He was the guy you hated and then you loved him.
Yes. He's super arrogant. Hilarious too. Him and Mankind. I remember watching them.
Well, Mankind played 2 other roles.
3 roles.
3 total or 3 others?
Cactus Jack and Hey Dude or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He played 3 different roles. And I think his persona is like he changed. Like he had multiple personalities, I think it was. And he would change and be someone else. But yeah, man, WrestleMania 39 was last night and part 2 is tonight. 2 episodes. I think the main event is Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes. That's the main fight tonight on the part 2. Last night it had check this out. Logan Paul is a wrestler. I guess he's pretty good. I saw highlights of him and I was like, okay, he's doing it. He's actually looks pretty good. And he was a Disney actor, then started doing his YouTube videos or whatever he was doing. And then he does his podcast that does really well. He has a lot of investments, owns Prime energy drinks that does really well. He's doing really, really well. Him and his brother, and nothing. I have nothing against the Paul brothers. I think they're living their best life and they're showing you the American dream, right? They're just them being them, and they're able to cash in on capitalism and make money. God bless them. I'm a fan of theirs. I like Logan Paul. I like Jake Paul. Everyone clowns on Jake Paul for, he thinks he's a fighter. No, he's a fighter. He is a legit fighter going in there fighting. Oh, they're fixed. No, I don't think they're fixed. And you just lost. So I don't think they're fixed fights, but Jake Paul wants to be a fighter, is fighting, he's fighting, right? You can't take that away from him. He looks good and he's training. He's not fake training, he's really doing it. And he has, still has a lot to learn, but he's putting in the time, which 100%, I'm a fan. Keep doing what you're doing. Logan Paul's doing wrestling. It's fake, but he actually looks good doing it. I mean, he got on the top rope, and you should watch that. What happened at WrestleMania is pretty good. KSI, I don't know who that is, but I guess my kids do, is another YouTuber that was on there. I don't want to ruin it for you, but we'll watch it later. Logan Paul did awesome. He did great for wrestling. So I think he has a legit future in wrestling. He has the look. He knows what he's doing for being so new. I'm rooting for him. I hope he does it. I can see him being an action star. I can see him being like following in the footsteps of all these other wrestlers, like the John Cenas and and Batista and being an action star, right? Or even comedy. You know, I think he can do comedy. So I don't know. What do you feel about the Paul brothers?
They bring a certain excitement that has a following. And their following, they can easily transition into WWE, into wrestling, and they just benefit from each other. So it just makes sense that they can just bring them in, show them a few tricks, act, and have a good time, and while everyone's making money, they bring in that audience. So it does make sense that he joins WWE. You don't have to be a boxer, per se. I mean, sure, there's a lot of money in it. You have to really love boxing because you risk a lot of physical damage, but you do with wrestling as well. But they're stunt performances as well. They try to keep it as safe as possible, where you're trying to have fun, flying around the whole place, being a daredevil. But it is a good thing I see them doing. Just having fun. Make that money. Why not? Good for them.
You know, they're just living their best life. And like with the Paul brothers, like, again, you can't I mean, people hate them for the wrong reasons, right? Like, you're jealous. Let's just be honest. You're jealous because they're two brothers. They're making a lot of money doing their thing. They're not the Island Boys. Is it the Island Boys?
Island Boys are ridiculous people. I don't know. I look at them like why are you popular?
Like, well, they're popular because they had that Island Boy song, but a lot of people hate them. Like, they were on Logan Paul's podcast, and they were just jerks. They were jerks. Plain and simple, they were jerks. They were jokes to Logan's buddy that actually had their back. If you ever watch that interview, you'll be like, this dude's on your side, and you're going to try to act tough on him. You know, and yeah, I can't fault the Island Boys for trying to do what they do, but when you have, I just don't like people that have bad attitudes. You know, I just don't like people that, you know, they think they're too famous for what they are, right? They made some comments about, who are you? I have, you know, when you start throwing, I have more money than you, good for you. Good for you. You have more money than me, dude. I don't use money as a currency to make me happy, right? My currency is like being around family and doing family stuff. You know, like today we celebrated our mom's birthday and we had the whole family with us. That makes me rich. That fills my heart more than going and buying a Porsche, more than having bling bling, everything that's wrong with society. You know, basically, and having stacks of cash. Why do you have stacks of cash? You know, there's a thing called a bank, right? That can hold your money so you don't get robbed. You know, like, just pull up your bank statement and be like, I have this much money. Then again, no one cares how much money you have. You know, but I'm just not a big fan of Island Boys. Before I just let them be, but after that interview with Logan Paul's podcast, I was just turned off, man. Like, these guys are just pricks.
What if it's just an act? And they're just sweethearts.
Then I am fooled. I just got fooled. I just got punked. Ashton Kutcher, you punked me. Yeah, you're right. What if it is an act?
Because outrage brings a following. People follow outrageous people all the time.
I don't follow the Island Boys, though.
Yeah, well,
but we're talking about them.
But
we're talking about them.
We are talking about them. It's
You're
just
right.
like that one chick.
There you go. You guys won.
Remember that Dr. Phil chick, the Catch Me Outside,
Oh, she's loaded.
whatever that girl's name is?
Catch Me Outside.
Catch Me Outside chick, whatever.
What
I don't
a
know what her
persona.
name is.
Yeah, Barbie.
But
I think it's
apparently she
Barbie.
has a huge following. It's just like, that's all it takes. Just
I don't even think she's 18 yet.
I'm pretty. Dude, it's years. It's been years. She's probably.
Yeah.
I'm sure she's an adult now.
I gotta look her up. I think her name's Barbie.
While you're looking her up, but I'm telling you though, but because of social media, people do like to follow jerks. Millions of them do, and they aspire to them. They get influenced by them, and that's probably another reason why I hate social media so much, because a lot of people become famous for the wrong reasons, and it really tears up a society. Don't follow people for the right reasons anymore.
Bad Barbie is her name.
What?
Daniela Bregoli. She was on Dr. Phil in 2016. Oh, she's 20 years old. She's legal.
Not legal enough to drink alcohol.
She drinks.
Oh, well, yeah, sure, you legally.
She drinks. Okay, so she just turned 20, March 26th. So she's a rapper, media personality. She is worth over 50 million? What? Wow. Catch me outside and we'll talk. That's insane to me. That's insane to me. I've never heard her rap, so I don't know if she's any good. She's from Florida. Holy cow. I guess she had like I'm just looking at her net worth right now going, wow. She bought a $6 million South Florida mansion. I hope she has the right people around her, that she's not going to go broke, that she's not going to lose her money. Wow. Good for her. Good for her. Good for her. And she must, to make $50 million, to have $50 million put away, like,
At 20 years old.
but what does she do? Like, I'm like, is she a good rapper? Like, I don't know what she's doing for that money.
I don't think she has to be good.
Does she have an OnlyFans? I wonder if she has an OnlyFans. Yes, she does. That's it. That's it. 50 million on OnlyFans. That's what right here.
That's where the money is?
Yep, OnlyFans. We're going to have to look how to get an account on OnlyFans. That's insane. Okay, that's how she made her money, OnlyFans.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know enough about OnlyFans. I hear that you can start a website and show your feet and make a lot of money.
Well, we're in the wrong business.
We are definitely in the wrong business. Like, there's too many people making too much money, and we're out here in corporate America.
Well, here's the thing. If I were to say, would you show your butthole to the internet? Would you do it? You'd probably say no. I'm just assuming. But if I told you you can make $100,000 a month showing your butthole to the internet, would you do it?
Sign me up.
Exactly.
How do you know it's my butthole?
But then at the same time, you're not guaranteed that $100,000 a month. There's that potential.
But I don't think. Well, I don't know if why would you want to show? I don't know. People want to see buttholes. Like, that's.
People want to see feet. They want to see buttholes.
They want to see buttholes.
People want to see all kinds of weird things on the internet,
Yeah.
and they're willing to pay for it.
I mean, what do you get out of looking at someone's feet?
I don't know.
Ugh, so weird. So weird. The world we live in is so weird. OnlyFans, bad Barbie making.
I mean, although it's not for us, it's for thousands of people who are willing to pay that money.
Yeah, I guess that's insane to me. That is insane to me. Reality just sucks, and we probably are in the Matrix. Like, we got to figure out something to do, or join everyone else and start an OnlyFans and like show off our fingers or something. I don't know. What can we do?
I'm sure someone's going to say in the comments of what they're willing to pay to see from us.
Ooh.
Zoom in on your nostrils or something.
Yeah. I don't know. Pick your nose kind of thing. Like, did you ever see those things on like when you're on like YouTube or something and you come across like those people that pop zits and stuff?
Yeah, there's people who do that. Someone got famous for
that.
Dr. Pimple Popper.
Yeah.
She has a TV show.
Yeah. But there's one that they do the earwax, and there's one the other day I saw where the guy had something in his ear and they put like this like liquid in his ear and a freaking black spider came out. Like a big one. I was like, oh hell no. Oh hell no. And what if your ears are just caves and there's all kinds of insects in there?
I'm sure if we looked through the internet,
you can't feel
plenty
inside.
of people have had insects for generations in their ears.
Yeah. We probably have that. Like, where does it lead to? Like, I don't know. That's another thing. That's so crazy. That's crazy.
To dip in a rabbit hole, what if that's a possibility that an alien life form as small as an insect can crawl into your ear, into your brain, and start controlling you?
And that's their ecosystem too, though. Mm-hmm. You know, because they're tiny. All right. So that concludes episode 2 of Just Luke. Thank you for joining us. Like, subscribe, and tell us in the comments below what you want us to talk about or what you want us to try out, check out, talk about, all that good stuff. And that's pretty much it. Thank you, and have a great day. See you next time.